Well, there's one specific incident in mind that I bring this up for, and I'll show the video. Actually, I'll go ahead and I'll insert it in right here. I'll play the clip. But basically what happens is a semi merges over into my lane and pushes me out into the opposite lane of traffic. Really? Now, I posted a clip of that on my shorts to kind of test the waters and get opinions. I've watched the video over a bunch of times now, and I already know the entire situation's my fault, 1000%. I was complacent, and it's a beautiful example of complacency and being comfortable and forgetting about the dangers that come along with this and how you should behave and ride in traffic to keep yourself safe. First off, let me say, don't ride beside a fucking semi. Don't sit beside them. No matter whether you're cruising through town or you're on the interstate or on a highway, don't hang out with fucking semis. They'll kill you. Straight up. Like, that's about all there is to it. They'll kill you. Don't hang out with semis. They're not your friends. Yeah, sure, it's cool to, go, action every now and then, but, like, stay the fuck away from that truck, bro. They have a harder time seeing you. You're a lot smaller. Let me shift up so I'm not screaming. The laws of gross tonnage apply when dealing with other vehicles. And the semi wins that fight every fucking time. But generally, so does just about every other vehicle on the road when you compare it to a motorcycle. Every other vehicle wins when it comes to potential impacts or collisions or fighting for space. You're not going to win. You're not going to fight for your space, so you're not going to keep your space. Don't fight for it. All a car has to do is get mad and boom, bump, and you're toast. That's it. Just that little flick right there. Just boom, you're done. Good night. In the wrong situation, you're fucked. And so just don't do it. But you're going to get comfortable as you ride, and you're going to ride, and you're going to ride more and more and more. And you're just going to kind of find yourself not really thinking about it anymore. Like, you when you start out, you're real paranoid, you're real nervous, and you're constantly, like, watching and, like, making sure, where other cars are at, where you're at relative to those vehicles. Things of that nature. You're really, I don't want to say scared, but you're paranoid, you're nervous. So you tend to be a little bit more aware when you're new. Not that you're necessarily know what you're supposed to be aware of, but you're aware. You see everything. Sometimes too much. Unnecessary shit. But as you ride and get more comfortable with control of your bike and things of that nature, you kind of tend to, I don't want to say forget, but you just stop really paying attention as often, and you have a tendency to blend in with the crowd and just kind of cruise alongside other vehicles until a semi pops up in your lane and scares the shit out of you. Oh, y'all could have stayed. I would have gone around you. You were good. No stress, bro. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, there you go. Pull up and hang out on the dock, brother. But yeah, no, complacency. Try to always make it your best effort when you're in town, in traffic, out and about, you know, or just any time you're on your bike, to just always try to be mindful of your position on the road relative to other vehicles. Because all it takes is one slip up where you weren't paying attention and something happens and you panic and it's over, you know. Thankfully, for the situation that I was in, I didn't panic. I was calm. You know, I had a lot of time to come up with a solution. There wasn't really anyone else in the oncoming lane. Situation was favorable for being forced out of my lane into oncoming traffic. However, had there been a car coming in the opposite lane when he pushed me out, I would have collided with a car head on, and there would have been nothing I could do about it, because my position in relation to the semi was too far forward to have braked. If I would have emergency braked to try and slow down to give up my lane position to avoid being pushed out, I wouldn't have been able to slow down in time. It wouldn't have worked. At least I don't think it would have. You know, we can armchair quarterback this shit all day long, but either way, the best thing that you can do to prevent yourself from getting into an accident is to not be in the position to get into an accident to begin with, right? So don't hang out next to semis. You don't have semis come into your lane. When you stop at a red light, keep your bike in gear. Leave that shit in first. Cover your clutch. It'll be fine. You know, you'll work your forearm a little bit. It'll be all right. Leave it in first. Watch your mirrors. Make sure that car that's coming up behind you is actually gonna stop. Keep that shit in gear and ready to go so you can move if need be. You know what I mean? When you go to roll through, say you got the green light and you're rolling through an intersection, still look left and right as you go through and approach that intersection to make sure that those cars on each side are stopping. If you see a car sitting at a turnout waiting, don't just assume that because they haven't turned out yet, it's because they see you and they're waiting for you to get past them. They might be picking their fucking nose. You know, they might not even see you at all and they're just doing whatever. And they're gonna pull out right on top of you. I forgot I was in second. Oops. It's got some gnarly motherfucking bumps on it, and I forget exactly where they're at. It's been a little while since I've came down this road. But oh baby, is it good. Oh yeah. But now, avoidance. If you can avoid being in a bad position, that's better than having to try to react because actions are always going to be faster than reactions, right? So if you're having to react to what someone else is doing, you're already on the back foot. Look at that big ass bump. If you're having to react to someone else's action, you're already on the fucking back foot. You're already in a spicy situation.
I forgot this bird's got some gnarly motherfucking bumps on it.
And you're simply responding. You're not being proactive. Be proactive. Maneuver yourself around through traffic. Don't sit still. Don't cruise alongside other cars. Don't sit in vehicles' blind spots. And yeah, I'm sure like a lot of this should come obvious to people who ride, but I don't know, like sometimes you forget. Sometimes you forget. You get comfortable. You get complacent. You don't fucking think about it. And you get took out. Just like that. Hopefully the sound's alright. I changed the position of my microphone to try and test out some stuff. Hopefully it sounds okay and it's not absolute garbage. Remember, pay attention, practice your emergency braking in a parking lot somewhere, practice your swerving. I don't care how long you've been riding. When's the last time that you practiced stopping quick, fast, and in a hurry? Oh shit, I'm gonna die on the brakes. When's the last time you practiced that? If it's been longer than a month, go give it a shot. Go give it a practice. Just 10 minutes, honestly. Before you leave work in the afternoon or in the morning or whenever, you know, whatever shift you work. Before you leave work and go home, cruise around in the parking lot and do like 5 minutes of parking lot drills before you leave. And watch how quickly you improve on every aspect of your riding. Do that. Remember not to get fucking complacent. And we might just live to die old men and women. Oh. Oh, don't panic too. Can't panic either. Don't fucking panic. It's easier said than done, of course. But the second you get scared and you panic, you make bad decisions, and you potentially make the wrong one. That kind of goes hand in hand with practicing in the parking lot. The more you practice, the less likely you are to panic